Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Jolly Roger Kraken Signature Edition from Black Ink Playing Cards and designer Jody Eklund. This is a deck series that is of course inspired by the legendary Kraken, but where did the Kraken come from? Well, Norwegian natural historians told stories of a creature called a Hafgufa. It was a giant sea whale who roamed the Greenland Sea and was as large as an island. And those legends kind of mixed with sightings of actual giant squid to evolve into tales of the Kraken itself. In the mid-1700s, Francisco Negri and others described the beast in detail. It was a giant octopus who attacked nearby ships. And later, French scientist Pierre-Denis de Montfort described and sketched his Pulpa colossal, giant octopus in French, described it in striking detail. Really famous piece of art. And perhaps the most famous appearance of the Kraken was in Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, when the giant squid attacked the Nautilus. Those and other legends have become part of the mythos of sailors throughout history and a symbol of the dangers of sea travel. And it's that legendary beast that Jody Eklund chose to build his latest deck around. So very cool history of the Kraken and a great subject for this deck. It's sea life and especially Kraken or octopi are used very frequently in decks, and for good reason. They always make a striking design element, as we'll see here. But let's get into the signature edition. Now, it is a box set with 3 different decks, and it comes in this really nice thick cardboard black with little foiled elements throughout. You have the black or this clear foil on there that creates a damask pattern in the back. Very cool and kind of elegant design to it. And of course, the Kraken emblem in gold foil there on the front. And you can see little bits of imperfection on here. This is actually part of the design, so it's meant to look not quite perfect, but has little speckles in it, almost little signs of wear or something like that. But very cool, symmetrical Kraken emblem there. On the top part here, you get the name of the deck series, Jolly Roger Kraken. And then on the bottom of it, you can see some more, almost like ad copy, but the Jolly Roger Kraken Signature Edition. And you can see it's one of 840 made. Now, this is not number 1. The boxes themselves aren't serial numbered, so it just means that there are 840 of them made. And then kind of a facsimile foiled signature there of Jody himself. Opens up with a magnetic closure here, very kind of sturdy feeling closure. And as you open it up, it reveals the decks inside. So 3 different versions of the deck. We have the blue Parlay edition, the red Calypso, and then the gold gilded Coxswain edition. And all 3 of them have little pull ribbons here that allow you to just pop them out of the case. Nice and cleanly there. But a beautiful finish to the tuck case, or to the outer box overall. Just a really nice piece there and holds the decks beautifully. Has little dividers in there just so they don't move around or anything like that. But anyway, that is the outer case. But let's get into the decks. Like I said, there's 3 different versions of the deck. The Parlay edition here is kind of the standard version of the deck. And then we have the full foiled red Calypso version and the gilded Coxswain edition. So we'll get a chance to look at all 3 of them. They feature a lot of similarities, but some differences between the 3. But let's start off with the standard one, the Parlay edition. All right, so it comes with an outer sleeve here, and this is exclusive to the signature edition of it. This gold and black outer sleeve with cutouts to reveal the deck underneath. But beautiful patterning on here. Again, kind of a damask feel to it overall. And then the cutout revealing that gold embossed octopus on the blue tuck case inside. Held in place with a little gold tuck seal with, of course, an image of the Kraken there that wraps around. You get the Jolly Roger Kraken and numbered. So this one is number 179 out of 500. Interesting that this is numbered out of 500, but the box itself is numbered out of 840. So I'm guessing there weren't actually 840 of the boxes made. Not really sure. But the seal here is just numbered out of 500. And then on the back here, you have a little emblem here with the facsimile signature, Jody Eklund there, and then a little bit of copy for the signature edition of the deck. Interestingly, in the campaign, this was actually supposed to be a signed and numbered sleeve here, but as you can see, it's not numbered, and the signature is just a facsimile signature. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but still a really beautiful finish And the tuck case inside, the regular tuck case, is equally beautiful. As you open it up, you get that beautiful blue background, kind of a world map view to it, complete with the little sea creature here at the top. You'd often see sea creatures depicted on ancient maps of some sort. And then the beautiful embossed gold foil Kraken there in the center. The side, designed by Jody Eklund, premium quality playing cards. Has a little bit of ad copy at the bottom, but is covered up by that seal that was used to hold the sleeve in place. But these are designed and produced by the Expert Playing Card Company in China. And then the top says the name of the deck, Jolly Roger Kraken. Back, not the back design of the cards, but again, the name of the deck and a little ship's wheel there, this time in silver foil. And you'll see little hits of silver foil accents on that map in the background as well. And then yet another seal, a postage stamp style seal in gold and black with the Kraken emblem, and then denoting this as the standard edition. As you open it up, you got a little bit of text here. It says, the search for Spanish coffee in the briny deep. So maybe alluding to the Jolly Roger's mission as a ship. Of course, that famous skull and crossbones, known for pirates flags everywhere. And nothing printed on the interior of the top, but you can see that deep blue, navy blue color there. So that is the tuck case. A lot going on with it, particularly with that outer sleeve. Just a really beautifully done tuck case. And the cards absolutely stand up to it as well. We'll start out looking at the back design of the cards, and here it is. Beautiful, detailed artwork throughout. Lots of scroll work built around that sort of flower there in the center. And then top and bottom, you'll see a Kraken kind of reaching over the design and wrapping its tentacles all around. Really beautiful feel to it. Love how elegant and symmetrical everything is. It's just a really striking look. And then the outer border here has little bits of detail on it as well. So it's a blue border, but kind of mimicking the water in the background. And as you tilt it in the light, you'll see it has little hits of holographic foil on it as well. Really nice touch and really elevates this to the next level. I like personally how, I don't know how to describe it. It's a little bit more subtle of a feel. It's not a really in-your-face foil and just lets those design elements shine, but while giving you that little accent of the hollow foil to just elevate it that much more. All right, turning to the cards themselves. So you get a pair of jokers, and they feature beautiful sea scenes, of course, featuring the Kraken. One of them with the Kraken's tentacles reaching up out of the water and kind of swallowing a ship into the depths. Maybe this is the Jolly Roger being attacked by the Kraken itself. Love the artwork on this, so detailed, and those tentacles wrapping up into the air, absolutely beautiful. The background on this is really nice as well. You get the blue, almost like a map background, looks a little bit like water throughout the background. And then these holographic foil elements that just give you little accents. It looks like words or writing, kind of like from a ship's log or something like that. But that writing kind of disappears at certain angles and then glows with that rainbow foil in others. Finished out with that little border around the edge, also done in hollow foil, and you have a really nicely accented card. But I like the design on the second one even better. This one not only shows the ship with the tentacles wrapping up, but gives you a view of the beast itself underneath the water. And I love the sort of mix of the below and above water here. It's a really beautifully laid out card. And then Jolly Roger Kraken there at the bottom. So there's your two jokers. Phenomenal artwork on those. And the Ace of Spades is also impressive. Like everything else on this one, accented with that hollow foil, so you can see some of it shining there in the background. And of course, what else could be the Ace of Spades? That spade pip made up of the giant Kraken there in the center, wrapping its tentacles up to kind of form with the shape of the spade pip. Very nice, has that same background with the writing on it, and then a really ornate, almost calligraphy style pip and index in the corner. Has a little bit of an outline there in that holographic foil, and then a classically shaped spade pip. But I will say, with everything else going on in the card, the writing in the background and everything, pip and index, the one small thing, I think it kind of detracts from the usefulness of the cards, because it's a little bit hard to read those with everything else going on. But a beautiful piece of art nonetheless. All right, all of the number cards on this one and the pips are fully custom as well. They all feature that same background we've seen on the other cards, the map, the water, the writing there, that same style pip and index in the corner. And then much simpler pips, kind of dark with the hollow foil border around them as well. So nice custom shape to the pips. familiar layout, nothing too out of the ordinary, but you do get some nice little custom looks like the diamond formation there in the 9. And then as you get to the red cards, a little bit hard to tell the difference here, but this is a slight, very dark red there. You may be able to see it on easier on some cards than others, but you get a little bit of a change from the black cards to the red cards. So there's your diamonds, and then into the clubs. Really like the shape of that club pit. And finally into the hearts. So those are your number cards. Very nice. I love the background on these, I gotta say. I mean, it's definitely busy. So if you're wanting to use these for gameplay or something like that, might be a little bit distracting. But as a piece of art and kind of fitting into the atmosphere of the deck, I think it just really does well. So there's your number cards. And then we finish with the courts. And the courts feature fictional pirates throughout. So these aren't depicting actual well-known pirates of any sort. But some of the well-known pirates throughout history, guys like Blackbeard or Anne Bonny, Calico Jack or Mary Read, maybe some of the ones who inspired the artwork that you see here. And it's done in kind of a comic book style that I really, really like. Jody Eklund always does a phenomenal job with illustrations on his court cards. These are no exception. They're all accented with bits of holofoil throughout. In some cases, I think the holofoil a little bit overdone. You know, like here, I don't know if I needed the entire sword and the feathers and the cap and everything like that to be accented with holofoil. On others, it's a little bit more subdued and I think works well with it. But either way, beautiful illustrations throughout. And as you go through all the suits, you get all different types of pirates, male and female pirates, like this one with the sword leveled right at you there. And there's your King of Diamonds. But really nice. The facial expressions on these are really great too. He does a great job in all of his cards in capturing different emotions through the facial expressions throughout. There's one looking maybe a little bit suspicious there. I really like that one with the gun leveled there, that rifle. And then your Queen of Hearts, and finally the King of Hearts standing proud. And those are the courts. Like I said, not inspired by any particular pirates, but fictional pirates that I think just really fit well in the deck. And that's it overall. So like I said, printed by Expert Playing Card Company and done on kind of a nice thin crushed stock here. Handles really nicely, I gotta say. Considering it's a foil deck, fully custom like this, it really does handle quite nicely. So if you want to use this for just shuffling or even for cardistry, I think these are gonna hold up really nicely. But that is only one of the 3 versions of the deck. So we have 2 more to go. So let's turn real quick to the Calypso version of the deck. So same design elements throughout, the same exact seal as before, but this one is the full foiled edition. So also numbered out of 500, but this time the interior tuck is done on a deep, deep red color. I normally like red tucks, but for this one, I like the blue tuck a little bit better, just because of the water theme throughout it. But red one, a nice contrast to it overall. You'll see on the tuck seal here, it says this is the full foil edition. And as you get into the cards themselves, you'll see some of the foiling. Now, I'm not sure why this one's called the full foiled edition, whereas the standard version wasn't, because the standard version also had foil on both the faces and the backs of the cards. But this one has foil on both sides as well. This one, you can see the little hits of foil on here. The red border around the edge instead of the blue, but the same design, that same beautiful Kraken there. The Kraken, for some reason, just stands out a little bit more on this one than it did on the blue one. And then the faces of the cards are pretty much the same, so no real differences on these. That same deep blue color throughout and those same hits of foil to accent all of the cards. So that is version number 2 of the deck, the full foiled Calypso version. Calypso is named actually for a nymph from one of the most famous sea stories of all, the story of Odysseus as he traveled in Homer's The Odyssey. Calypso was a nymph who tried to tempt Odysseus into staying with her, but was unsuccessful, obviously, in doing so. All right, but anyway, one more version of the deck to go. This one's called the Coxswain edition. Coxswain's basically the steerman of the ship, but this is the gilded version of the deck. So again, same sleeve on this one. This one also, just like the others, numbered out of 500 and features a brown or kind of goldish colored tuck case here with that same gold Kraken on it. So again, very similar details, gilded edition on the tuck seal. And as you open up the cards themselves, you'll see as you might expect. Let's get this closed up. It is, of course, a gilded deck and done in beautiful gold. So very nice job on the gilding. Kind of has a slightly less mirror finish, I would say, than some gilded decks that I've seen. A little bit more of a matte feel to it overall, but really nice. But surprisingly, and this is another little bit of a surprise, maybe a mistake from the campaign, I really like the back design. It has those kind of dark colors to give it some contrast, but I believe this is supposed to be a foiled back design, and it's not. Unlike the other two versions, ironically, the gilded version doesn't have any foil in the back, just has the kind of golds and blues. But as a design element, I personally don't mind it at all. I think this one has a nice kind of, I don't know, more antiqued feel to it. I don't know how else to describe it. But I actually don't mind that it doesn't have the foiling on here. That said, on the faces of the cards, you also don't get foiling on these either. So interesting. Same designs on them overall, but again, no foiling on the cards at all. So interestingly, the gilded version of the deck has the least foil on it. I would have expected, and I think the campaign actually promised that the gilded version would have not just the gilded edges, but also full foil on the cards. Wondering if maybe there was a mistake, like the standard version wasn't supposed to have foil, and instead the standard version got foil. I don't know. A little bit of a mix-up in the production, but overall, don't mind it. Now, full warning, as with many gilded decks, these are not going to handle as well as the non-gilded version, so obviously you're going to get clumpiness there until you break these in. So going to require a little bit more breaking in if you want to use this as a true handling deck of some sort. Anyway, that is the third version of the deck, the Coxswain edition, the gilded version. And that's it. 3 different versions and 3 beautiful pieces of art from Jody Eklund in the signature edition set. Can't really go wrong with any of them. For me though, I'm going to say the standard version is probably my favorite. That blue color, I think, is just really built well for this deck. With the sea theme, I think the blue just stands out great, but can't go wrong with any of the versions. So despite a few questions on a couple little parts of it, the sleeves not being signed, or maybe some possible mix-ups in which versions of the deck were foiled versus not foiled, I love the series. It's some of the best artwork, some of the best quartz that I've seen from Jody, and just really magnificent tuck cases. But anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this look at the Jolly Roger Kraken from Black Ink Playing Cards. I'll put a link down in the description to where you can go check out some of these decks for yourself on Jody's website if you want to pick some up. Highly recommend it. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.